Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas in your ears, you. Since Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been loyal.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of 79th Halas. This is episode 248. Man, it's your guys, Scott and Flows. You know where to follow us on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott, at Flows and Delaney. Follow the pod, 79th Halas, the 79th and Halas on Twitter. Follow the Barberchair Network at BarbersChairNet on all social media platforms. And of course, you can subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/BarbersChair Network, man. If you want to get everything early, as you can see right on here on the screen, if you have the scan code, the QR code, will take you right to the Patreon, man. We got 4 different tiers: Summer Sessions tier, 79th Halas tier, I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. All those tiers are $5, and then of course it's a $10 Barber's Chair All Access tier where you can get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair shop if you subscribe to that. And of course, if you're not subscribed or if you already ordered, we appreciate you. If you haven't ordered already, you need to, man. Visit bcnetshop.com. You can get all of your 79th and Halas gear, all of your Barber's Chair Network gear, all of your I'm Not Gonna Hold You gear there, man. We just shipped out all the orders this week. So shout out to all y'all who order, man. We appreciate that, man. So we are here for our first recap pod of the season. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Me and Flows fresh off Soldier Field. Bears won 24-17. Flows, how we feeling?
Tired, but it was a good win. I'm happy that they won. Happy we don't have to deal with driving back home pissed off because they lost, and then, oh man, where do they go from here? And then having fake hope. It's just, it's a part of the league. It's part of the NFL, but at least they actually won. And unfortunately, they have a bad win, which I know people hate to say bad wins because a win is a win, but they didn't look really good. Oh my God, that was the worst pick I've ever seen by Gardner Minshew. They didn't look great offensively, and that's concerning, but at least they won. At the end of the day, at least they won.
Yeah, at least they won. In the words of American philosopher Dominic Toretto,
Nigga, you are inside the house. Take those glasses off.
I'm not taking nothing off. Don't.
Oh my God!
Don't be upset that I'm out here shining post victory dub. I'm putting the shades on. Okay, leave me alone.
Jim McMahon.
No, I'm not Jim McMahon. These are not Jim McMahon shades. Relax on me. Well, anyway, what was I saying? In the words of American hero Dominic Toretto, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. We'd have felt a lot worse about that if the Bears. Thank you. Got my prime shades on. Yeah, prime, not Jim McMahon. But we would feel a lot worse about this if the Bears didn't win this game. You know what I'm saying? Like Alex says, Caleb has some jitters, but I think he'll get better. Just initial thoughts before we do our full breakdown of this. It was a tough win. It was a tough win. I think what was amazing about it was that they came back from 17 points down. This is a game they 100% lose the last 2 seasons. And I tweeted towards the end of the game, I said, in the past couple of years, the defense, even though they played decent, would have coughed up the lead. And they put the hammer down and they nailed it down and got the victory. And I thought that was a big thing for momentum for this team going forward, for them to be able to do that. And yeah, like Alex says in the chat, he said Bears get smoked 24-3 in the last 2 years. Yeah. And I think that, Caleb.
Deshaun looks terrible.
Yeah, Deshaun looks terrible. Freaky ass nigga here, 69. God. Shout out to Kendrick. Super Bowl 59 performer. We'll get more into that on I'm Not Gonna Hold You tomorrow. But I think Caleb's gonna get better. My main concern was I think every Bears fan's concern this year, and that was the offensive line, especially the interior. They were just getting, I don't know what Coleman Shelton thought he was doing, but it wasn't playing football. It was just terrible. Caleb looked real nervous. He had a lot of overthrows. He even admitted in the post game that he had DeAndre Carter. Yeah, Keenan Allen on one route overthrow. Keenan also dropped one. Keenan also probably should have had one. He dropped.
Well, 3 drops today. One by DJ, one by
Yeah.
Rome, one by Keenan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly said we're talking about the game a lot different. Keenan catches that and Velas doesn't. Yeah. Velas, I don't know what Velas was doing with that fumble. Like, so I like you said, you believe in such things, bad wins. I don't. I believe a win is a win, especially in this league. It's hard to get a win. I feel a lot better about this going into Houston because I didn't want to go into Houston with you having to win a game. You know what I'm saying? Against a team that's good, a team that's went to the playoffs, a team that a lot of people have in the Super Bowl this year. To me, you going in there now with house money, and I think that's what's the good about this win. And like you said, Joe, it's about Caleb and the team getting different monkeys off their back, and this is the first one, getting the ugly win, and I think that's something you got to cross off on the board. But let's talk about the good.
I do want to say I want to qualify the ugly win thing. I think that most wins in the National Football League are not pretty, just because that happens. You're going to play a game where it's dependent upon making sure people catch the ball, run the ball well, and have room to run the ball, and then going 100 yards in that same distance. A lot can go wrong in between that span. So I understand that. However, I thought there were times where the Bears shot themselves in the foot. For instance, they had a lot of wide 9 at the beginning of the game. What I mean by wide 9 is that if you looked at the defensive line, they're spread out very, very far, which is basically a position where you don't have really much run defense focus. No run defense focus. You're trying to get a pass defense, which is fine if you're going against Peyton Manning in 2000. Like, that's fine because Peyton Manning's not going to take off and run. The issue with the pass-dependent defense or a run defense, pass defense line, is the fact that you have to assume that they're not going to take off and run it. And so wide splits coming straight up field where you're trying to get some pressure on them, it's difficult. And the Bears, I saw them switch in the second half where it was not as wide. A lot more of it was, all right, let's condense the line. Let's get our edge rushers on the outside. Let's get them to go with the one-on-ones with the tackles. And then again, with the interior linemen, let's see if we can condense the line that's directly in front, because Will Levis was taking advantage of that. So I will say it was ugly only because they shot themselves in the foot. Offensively, it just never was going. It was not a point in time where the offense looked good. It seemed like Caleb had several things going wrong for him. Passes were batted at the line of scrimmage. A lot of them were off balance, not really on his body center, throwing off of your feet successfully. It was a lot of, let's try to fit that in with a side throw, which is getting bounced off the helmet of somebody, or somebody's tipping at the line. And it wasn't the greatest. Now, also, he had 3 drop passes, which probably would have gave him some better stats, but it still wasn't the best. And so when I think of all of that in its totality, I will say that was an ugly win. But we've seen people use these terms before. They say, the so-and-so gets out an ugly win. So it's a common term. I just think we have to be honest and know that wasn't the prettiest win. And do we know if Herbert is hurt? No, he's not hurt. He got some tick. He got a few runs today. I want to say he had like a 6 to 7 yard run. But it's a very deep running back room. So you have DeAndre Swift, obviously, who is the starter. I know if Roschon was healthy, he would probably be the number 2 back. And then you got Herbert and you got Homer. So it's just a lot. And on top of that, the running game just was not going today.
Was Roschon hurt, or was he a healthy scratch?
I'm gonna assume he was hurt.
I think he was healthy scratch. I don't think that nigga was listed on an injury report this week.
Right. Okay.
I think he's a healthy scratch. But by the way, we talking about
it wouldn't make sense for him to be a healthy scratch and you have Travis Homer.
I don't know. Travis, I don't know. I don't think that he was hurt, but I could be wrong. I gotta go back and look at it. But remember we was talking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Roschon practiced a full on Friday. I need to go back and look at the injury report, but I'm pretty sure he did. Joe, we were talking about in the car. Why was Kim Mulkey there? She went straight to Wintrust Arena. I guess she was there to support Angel or some shit. They posted on their social media. Anyway, let's go to some of the good that we saw today. Darrell Taylor, amazing. It's the second best debut by number 52 in Chicago Bears history. Of course, we know number 1 was the Mac man in Lambeau Field 6 years ago. And by the way, he's obviously killing again today. I saw some people tweeting about him. I would love for him to be a mid-season addition when the Chargers are already out of contention. I would like for him to come back home. But anyway, Darrell Taylor, great game.
Bo Nix got picked off again. Woo.
Again?
Rough day for rookies. Rough day for rookie passes.
Rough day.
Does not look great.
Not like good, but Darrell Taylor was great. Had 2 sacks. One was a strip sack. The linebacking core, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds was great. The secondary. What can we say about the secondary? They had some moments where they did got burned, but Tyreek Stevenson, pick six, the game that took the arena the stadium to pandemonium. Like the stadium was hype to begin it, the way the offense started and the way the defense was kind of letting Tony Pollard have a throwback game. It kind of took the crowd out of it. When you had Daniel Hardy, shout out to Daniel Hardy, friend of the program, who blocked the punt, and then Mr. Biles himself, Jonathan Owens, picked it up into the end zone. That got the crowd back up. But when Tyreek Stevenson got that pick six, it was so loud in there. Jalen Johnson, number one shutdown corner. That's why you paid him, man. He locked it down, got that interception toward the end. Should have had to. Shout out there. Billings was amazing. Billings was it's probably one of the most underrated players on this defense. Gervon Dexter had a sack. I feel like there was a point in the game where the defense wasn't giving enough pressure. I don't know if that because they just weren't giving enough pressure. Maybe they were tired of being on the field so long. I tweeted like in the third quarter, the time of possession between the Bears and the Titans, it was wildly favoring the Titans. But they really strapped down and did what they had to do. So I'm not really worried about the defense. We'll get into my worries in a minute, but what were some good things that you saw from the Bears today?
I did see a few plays where Caleb got into a rhythm because the passes were intended to get out of his hand quickly. With a rookie quarterback, at least what I've seen after watching the NFL my entire 33 years of living, is that if you want to get a quarterback out of a funk, or if you want to get a young rookie quarterback established, give them tempo. And what I mean by tempo is boom, boom, boom. Catch, pass, snap, catch, throw. Snap, catch, throw. So it's not much thinking. It's just boom, boom. And then when your body starts getting in a rhythm, and a muscle memory, passes become easier. Now, when you're a great quarterback, you will do that automatically. I will admit that completely. When you're a great quarterback, you will do that automatically. Unfortunately, that takes time. It takes time, whether you're sitting in years as a quarterback or whether you're just out of the gate impressive. It takes time. And so I think with Caleb, the best thing for him is to repeat what they did late towards the third quarter when they started getting the ball ahead very quickly. When we probably thought they were going to score a touchdown because they were moving. It was a long third down, 3rd and 12 or something that converted. Then he found Keenan on the outside. Like you start to see, wow, man, there's something there. If you just keep him going fast, so that he just doesn't have to think, because I'm sure when you're young, you overthink things. So yeah, those were the positive things that I saw offensively. Defensively, it was just a complete overhaul in that second half. In the second half, we were able to see the defensive line start to get some pressure interior-wise. Darrell Taylor continued to be very, very good. We saw some great DB play from a pick from Jalen Johnson and then also Tyreek Stevenson. So defense, I can't speak better about them. They held them scoreless in the second half, and that's impressive.
Yeah, it's even more impressive when we realized they were down 17 points. I think that was really, like we said in the car, like that was just a big part of the win. Let's talk about the subject of all the attention, obviously. Number one draft pick himself, Mr. Caleb Williams. Do you have Caleb's numbers in front of you, or should I bring them up right here?
I do not have Caleb's numbers in front of me.
I'm bringing them up right in front of me. Yeah, I got it right. So Caleb Williams went here we go. 14 for 29, only 93 yards passing. He only averaged 3.2 yards per pass, which is, kind of what, people were talking about, CJ Stroud, who he's going to be compared to. CJ Stroud had a terrible opening week last week as well. I'm going to say what I saw from Caleb before we go to what I think is the main issue with why the offense was asked today. He looked nervous. He looked nervous to me, which is funny because he said on Hard Knocks when they were getting ready for his first home preseason game, and Bears quarterback coach Kerry Joseph asked him, "How nervous are you?" And he was like, "I don't get nervous. I haven't been nervous since my freshman year in high school." And Kerry Joseph was looking at him like, "All right, okay, nigga." And then the next week when they were in Kansas City for the preseason game, and it's him, Keenan Allen, and Chiefs wide receiver Mecole Hardman, and Mecole Hardman was like, "Oh, what's up? I'm a fan." He's like, "Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You gonna get nervous, bro. You gonna get nervous when your first game come, bro." And then Keenan was like, "Yeah, he just be talking. You gonna get nervous." And then Caleb was all right. We'll see. I'll let you know. Caleb was definitely nervous. I think that he had a couple overthrows. He admitted in the press conference that he overthrew DeAndre Carter, who had a really good game today. He overthrew Keenan Allen on a pass, and then I also think that he was just, he's flat on some passes. It was just, to me, it was rookie jitters. And I'm not giving him a pass or anything because I'm not going to be doing that to Bears quarterbacks anymore, giving them passes. If they play like shit, they play like shit. I think it was it was a rough start. There's no way around it. It was a rough start. I'm not nervous though. I'm not nervous whatsoever. I think he's going to figure it out. I am nervous about the offensive line, but we'll get into that in just a minute. What did you think about Caleb's performance today?
If I had to rate it, it would probably be a 60% of it. If I'm thinking like how I do every day as a teacher, this would probably be a 60%. This would be a D. Wouldn't be an F because they won, but if they would have lost, it would have undoubtedly been an F. So if I'm looking at that and I'm getting the cumulative stats, I don't think it was good, but I'm not sure I can say it was god awful. When the ball was in rhythm, or when the play was in rhythm, Caleb had some very good passes. Caleb never looked like he was terrified in the pocket. I remember going when CLTV had Sportsnet. I remember talking to Josh Freeman and oh my goodness, Josh Freeman. Who else was it? Anyway, talking
JP was on there too.
JP, talking to JP, and we were talking about Mr. Trubisky, and I said, man, he has happy feet. He just gets very happy, and he gets out of the pocket. He's terrified. I can say Caleb never looked terrified in the pocket. He looks comfortable, and I like that. That being said, there are things he needs to do better. Feet moving. This is the NFL. Your feet need to be moving. You need to constantly move your feet because you have to make sure that you're prepared to make a move, whether it's stepping up in the pocket, whether it's getting outside of the pocket, whether it's taking off and run. You got to make sure that you're ready for all of those things. Timing. His timing was off. Several passes that I wonder if he would have set up and threw it with his entire body rather than a back foot off kilter throw or a leaning left short sidearm throw would have been better if he would have set up, move with his feet, and drive it off that front foot. And so when I think about that, I would say he had some misses. It's not good, but I can't say it's terrible. It was, it's okay. It's okay given the circumstance, but that's about it.
Yeah, okay, given the circumstances. I think that even if he went out there and had 350 yards and 300, and 3 touchdowns, you can't overreact with rookie quarterbacks in one game. This is something where it's a different game when you're out there with people who are, it's real time now. Like it's no practice or nothing like that. And it was nothing about him that I saw that made me scared, which is a good thing. I'm worried about the offensive line. I'm not even too. Before we get to the offensive line, I want to talk about Shane Waldron's play calling. What did you think about it? I thought it was not his best called game, but at the same time, I feel like some of the plays could have worked if there was better blocking. There was a lot of drops. DJ dropped something. Keenan Allen dropped something. Rome dropped something. There was a lot of drops there as well. But the second and short, the third and shorts, those plays got to get better. Like you got to be smarter when it comes to that, and so you can make it more manageable. We shouldn't be struggling when you're just trying to get 1 yard. So I know, fans are gonna be fans. You're gonna, go in on the offensive coordinator, especially since the Bears. I can't remember the last Bears good offensive coordinator, but I would probably give Waldron a C for his play calling. What did you think about from what you saw from Shane Waldron play call? Because there's a lot of pressure on him.
I'm not really sure. I'm mad. I'm thinking about what would make me believe that this was the fault of the offensive coordinator. Typically is a non-commitment to the run. It's egregious play calling because you know that if you keep running the same play, eventually it will be found. And when I think about that, I can't believe that it's the fault of Shane Waldron. I'd probably grade it a 76%. It's not terrible, but if the small things were done correctly, we probably say this was a solid game. And I think Caleb Williams alluded to that. He said if the small things are done well, this is a different game. Think about it. 2 missed touchdowns, whether it was not as a Keenan Allen, and then it was
Keenan
DeAndre
Allen and
Carter.
DeAndre Carter.
If those are hit, all
It's
of
a
a
different
sudden
conversation.
Caleb has 2 touchdowns on the day. And in addition to 2 touchdowns, he has probably over 150 yards passing, near 200. And so if we look at that, then they win that game by 3 touchdowns. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay. So 2 misplays, probably 50 yards or 60, 70, 80 yards cumulatively, 2 touchdowns. If you have that, the game's completely different. So I'm going to have to say I don't think he did bad. 76 to 80%, in between that range, I think I would give it to him. I don't think it's bad. I think it's it would be wrong of me to say it was bad. But it was odd. It was solid.
So you give it like a C, pretty much. So we
Nothing
give it like
crazy.
the same grade. Like you're right, yeah. If you hit on those plays, we're having a different conversation. 100%. Now let's go to which I think is the biggest problem here, and a problem that I think that's not going to go away. And that is the offensive line.
Right.
I think that the defensive line, they had some moments where they gave Will Levis too much time and a much better quarterback, especially like the one we're going to see next week. CJ Stroud is going to burn you for that. But I'm way less worried about them than I am the offensive line. The offensive line has problems, and more specifically the interior. Coleman Shelton, I don't know what that was out there. It was terrible. The Bears, for some reason, have not been able to figure out center since Olin Kreutz put the cleats up. And this has always been a problem for this. You know, Cody Whitehair had one fake good year in 2018. That's when we got him that big old contract. It has just not been good. And Coleman Shelton was getting manhandled today by the Titans. And then what makes it even more scary is this is not a great, defensive line by the Titans. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is great, but they don't have dogs on their front line like a lot of teams will. And, I think you said it too in the booth. Braxton Jones, we didn't hear his name, so that means he had a good game. Tevin Jenkins had a good day. Darnell Wright had like one play where he messed up, but obviously a good game. The 2 problems were the dudes who Ryan Poles brought in, Shelton and Ryan Bates. Ryan Bates had some bad plays there as well. Nate Davis is good when he plays, but then he got pulled out. I don't know if that was because injury. You said he was on the bike, or maybe that Flus just got tired of him and pulled him out. I don't know. But the interior is going to be a problem. Like Joseph says in the chat, Caleb had 2.67 seconds to throw. Like, there was the sack that Caleb took. That was like, 2nd and 29? As soon as he snapped the ball, there was a player in his face. It shouldn't be that quick. You have Coleman Shelton on the floor. You got Nate Davis look like he just taking a walk. And it was just brutal. That is one fear that I have, because you said this on the I'm Not Gonna Hold You special that we put out this past Thursday, is you felt like Ryan Poles kind of built the team on the reverse. Like, as much as we love Roma Dunze, maybe you go out there and get you an offensive lineman to help this out, because it really felt like, to me, on some plays, Caleb was jittery because the defense was coming at him so quick. And that, to me, is something I think that's going to be a problem moving forward. I don't think there's a simple solution for this. What do you think about the offensive line?
There is no simple solution. I do think when Nate Davis plays, Nate Davis is a more capable offensive guard than Ryan Bates is. The issue is he didn't look good either. But when Ryan Bates got in, I saw some good. I saw him have some solid blocks toward the end of the third and end of the fourth quarter. But when he first came in, I saw him get blew up a few times, like some miscommunication. Coleman Shelton just did not have a good game. It could be a one-off thing or just a bad game. I'm not 100% sure. But it did not look good. And what do you do in between there? You're not going to find a center on the street. He's just going to make it work. That's just not how it happens. And so they're going to be a problem. I think that's just the fact of life. They're going to be a problem. I can't see how they're not going to be a problem, because it looked like Coleman Shelton didn't know what he was doing. In addition to that, it looked like a few times where he just looked like he was getting outgunned. I mean, out-muscled. Players look stronger than him. When they were having delayed blitz, players would come up the middle and just literally knocking him on his ass. And so when I think about those things, I am concerned with how much you can salvage this opportunity. Again, it could just be a one-off. I'm not 100% sure. But as of now, it's not a promising sign for the Bears' offensive line. I think it is a problem, and unfortunately, there's no quick solution to it. You just kind of have to deal with it, and that just is what it is.
And when you deal with it, do you think there's a different way that Shane Waldron's going to have to call the game if this continues next week in Houston
Oh
and in
yeah,
Indianapolis?
part of the deal with it solution is to get the ball out of his hands. I mean, what do you do when a team wants to blitz you? You get the ball out of your
Hold on,
hands.
quick.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it takes time for someone to come from that side onto your side until you get the ball out quick. If you're going to send the entire house, you have somebody immediately in the flats, so you have somebody immediately run a quick little comeback, quick little curl, get the ball in their hands, and take off. There's always a solution or a counter or an adjustment to everything that happens in the NFL. And so if you know that Caleb's not going to get enough time, either because of blitzing or because the line is just getting destroyed, what do? You make an adjustment. And the adjustment in this situation is allowing Caleb to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So when they respect the pass, you can run. And then when they respect the run, you can pass even deeper. And so football is literally just a revolution. You just have to know when to keep the wheel turning, when to slow it down, and when to speed it up again. And if they do that, like a modern team would, I think they'll be fine. However, you can't scheme a bad offensive line. Eventually, they're going to rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
And so I think you can do all that you can, plug up the holes, maybe leaving a defender in with the offensive line to pick up some blitz or pick up some holes that are happening in the offensive line. But you have to be aware that eventually it'll rear its ugly head.
The run blocking wasn't good either. The Bears had 84 rushing yards off 22 total carries from everybody. 10 of those carries came from DeAndre Swift. The other 5 were from Caleb. DeAndre Swift's longest run was 20. And I definitely feel like he could have broke that off. One of them he could have broke off. I think that's something that you really need to get going because DeAndre Swift in space is a playmaker. So that's got to switch. Like I said, it's the first game. So like we can't get too high, too low. I think Fluke said it the best. Celebrate this win until about 2-3 o'clock tomorrow, and then it's on to Houston. Couple questions before we wrap this up. What did you think about Matt Eberflus? Because I thought in the first half I was really concerned. I don't really check my phone that much during the game because I've got Twitter going off and I've got my friends going off. I'm not gonna hold you chat what's going off. Don't let Bang and Mikey and Dante lie to you tomorrow and say that they were calm because they were not. But I'm just gonna put that out there, right? There was a lot of panic, and I'm not gonna hold you chat. But everybody's like, no, Flus is playing for his job. And I was like, all right, let's relax. I feel like they came out unprepared, like they did the first 2 years of his tenure, which was very alarming. But the way they came out in the second half, the adjustments they made, Flu started dialing up the blitz more, which you said it yourself. Like, we was in the booth, like, why aren't they blitzing more in the first half? Second half, they dialed the blitz up more. And that's what you saw really get into that element. And I felt Flus made adjustments. And that's what you want to see from Flus. As much as this is a learning year for Caleb, it's a learning year for Flus as well. Because I don't know if Flus is a good coach now. I'm not going to judge the man off the rosters they gave him the last 2 years. I'm just not. You actually have a winning roster now. So now I'm going to be judging Flus. And I love the adjustments he made in the second half when he had a real great post-game speech that let me feel like, okay, this is a stepping stone for Flus as well. What do you think about Flus's coaching today?
I don't know, man. It's kind of a mixed basket. Again, you had a poor start to the first half, whether it was wide 9 splits that were allowing Will Levis to come up the field or allowing the running game to attack very effortlessly. Some really questionable calls defensively. I saw a lot of nickel, not a lot of base 4-3, and that's fine. The issue is that I don't believe in sitting in a nickel base. I believe allowing yourself to have 3 linebackers in there. That way you beef up the run support. And then also have an athletic outside linebacker. So if you need to make a move on a tight end that's coming across the middle, you'll have the athletic ability to do so. And so with all of that, in the second half, he did improve. So I guess I can say he was okay today. But again, like you said, I'm not 100% sure if he is a good coach. I think a good coach shows you they're a good coach consistently. They do things that show, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing. One of the biggest things, of course, is adjusting. But one of the things outside of that, which is paramount, is being prepared in the first place. And knowing, we got Will Levis. He's a second-year starting QB. He struggles a bit. Let's make sure that we take the running game off the table. because he's going to need the running game to establish himself as a passer. He needs that. Let's take the running game away. And instead, you allowed 100 yards rushing in the first half, which is insane, especially when you're the top-ranked rush defense. And so you don't do that. But then the second half, you plug up the holes. So that's kind of some mixed bag. I can't say it was bad. I can't say it was good, but it was okay. It was a solid debut. Again, more information is needed. And when I tweeted on the page, I said, I don't know why certain Bears fans, or Bears fans, period, trust this team. Why would they? You need to see it before you believe it. And so right now, I think I'm meant to see it first. I don't believe, and I have not seen anything that would suggest that he's a good coach. But I also can't say he's a bad coach just yet. More time's needed.
I said all season, I'm going to be judging this season per game. This is something I feel like is going to be a ride. It's going to be a mixed bag. And I also think we forget sometimes the NFL season is so long. I think right now, the first half of the season is the winnable portion. And when I'm winnable doesn't mean they're going to win. The NFL is hard to win every week. It's literally any given Sunday. But these are the games that you have to win. You want this team to be as smooth as possible before you face Green Bay on November 17th, I think it is. And you want to be as smooth as possible before you play them. Or Jordan Love should be back by then. How he's going to be, I don't know. He might be suffering that MCL all season. Regardless if he's 100% or not, LaFleur knows how to game plan. You want to be ready for that gauntlet to play against not only your division, but to play against a team like San Francisco, who's been running the NFC the last couple of years. And then there's a 3 game. It's like at the end of the year, there's a 3 game in 10 days, which is extremely short. So you want to get yourself up to that point. So that's why I feel like I'm judging it game by game. Today was not pretty whatsoever. Yeah. Whatsoever. It was an ugly win, but I will take it. I feel much better now than I thought I was going to feel around halftime, man. I'm trying to think what else we can see. Let's just, we're going to talk more about the game on Wednesday, obviously against Houston. We're getting more of the, X's and O's out there. But what do you want to see adjustment wise next week for the team?
Quick passes. Come out the gate, allowing the ball to fly out of Caleb Williams' hand. Commit to the run again. Though it was not a pretty start to the offensive season rushing, commit to the run again. Get Khalil in there. If Roshan's available, get him in there, along with Swift, obviously, as a starter. And then when that happens, takes more shots. Again, I don't think it's conducive to a good team to allow yourself to be battened down by bad trends. So if the run game is not working, I don't believe you abandon it totally. You just adjust it. But if you consistently run and don't allow yourself to pass the ball, then you're going to hurt. And so if they commit to the ups and downs, get the ball out of Caleb's hands
quickly. You were slamming the fuck out of that table.
I'm sorry. If they commit to getting the ball out of Caleb's hands quickly, commit to the running game, getting your tight ends involved more. I did not see a lot of Gerald Everett or Cole Kmet. I didn't see a lot at all. I think I saw one pass to Cole Kmet today. I didn't see a target outside of that. I think maybe Gerald Everett had one pass, but you need to get the tight ends involved more. You need to get the tight ends.
Yeah.
You need to get,
That's a good point. Yeah.
You need to allow some blocking and to leak out for a quick pass. You need to allow your tight ends to find space where they can just make a play, or space where they can get themselves open. You need to allow that to happen. Getting your running backs involved in the passing game even more. Yeah, so those are the basic things. Tight ends involved more, running backs in the passing game, and getting the ball quickly out of his hands. Play action, much more play action. Did not see enough play action in this game. You need to do play action again, and if you commit to the run, they're going to respect the play action even more. Lining up under the center more. I don't think you need to stay consistently in this spread shotgun all the time. Get them under center, get the ball moving. And I think if you do that, Caleb will find a rhythm, and once he finds a rhythm, you'll find some easier passes.
Yeah, I think Shane O'Mac, you feel the both. Week 1 is pretty ugly. Looking at some of the other games, most teams play sloppy. It's sloppy games. The Bengals lost to the Patriots, my nigga. Like it was a lot of sloppy. I mean, even in the opening game, bro. The opening game, what's it called? Patrick Mahomes looked sloppy in the opening game. I think it's because the NFL doesn't put enough emphasis on the preseason. That's why think the first month of NFL football is not good football. So that's why you want to get the wins you can get right now. To wrap this up on a Bears front, to me, I think that you're right. I didn't even realize that Cole Kmet, well, now, they didn't really use. Hey, Cole Kmet got thrown one ball, but that was the play that happened when they tried to review the play that happened before. The crazy play where it looked like Caleb was going to get picked, and that ball was in the air for a super long time, and then Rome caught it, but then Rome fumbled it, and then Tevin Jenkins picked up. The next play, he threw to Caleb through to Cole Kmet. But you're right, you need to see more Cole Kmet. Use Gerald Everett. So there's ways they can get better. So I'm not really nervous about it, but they need to make those changes. Really interested to see what the adjustments are going to be. But next week on primetime, I know a lot of Bears fans don't like when their team's on primetime. That means everybody's watching you, and people who don't watch your team tweet and say a lot of dumb takes because they don't really pay attention to your team, especially since the Texans are this year's culture team. So there's going to be a lot of people room for them. Joe's not going to be there. I'm going to be in the building. Me and Pavi will be in the building holding it down for Barber's Chat Network 79th and Halas. There's going to be a major Bears contingent. I will be bringing back my new I'm Not Gonna Hold You segment, Word from the Tailgate. I will be doing tailgate content. So any Bears fans who out there, tweet me. I will meet up with you in the tailgate. We're going to be out there a couple hours before the game. It's going to be a fun time. I haven't been to Texas in a decade, and I haven't been to Houston ever. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. Before we wrap up, do we want to say anything about the Super Bowl performance that we got coming up?
Hey, man, you know how I feel about Kendrick Lamar. He's my favorite artist. I think he's a number 2 rapper all time. It's a really unfortunate series of events for Drake that the man you're beefing with had a number 1 hit with the diss song.
It's not unfortunate. He brought it on himself.
That's true. Now he's going to be able to perform this song in front of the entire country on the biggest sporting events in the world, because very few sports get this amount of play for a singular game, this amount of attention. And so maybe not the world. I know the World Cup fans.
Yeah, World Cup's bigger. It's the biggest in America.
Hey, man, Super Bowl still has some of the highest ratings of any freaking game ever.
I'm with you. If you want to say Super Bowl, I'm with you.
So in the country. So the fact that he has to perform, the fact that he gets to perform that live is nuts. But now Kendrick is my favorite artist in the game. He's been with for how many years has it been? Since like 2008 or 2009?
2009. He 15 years. Since 2009, I had this bitch jumping.
So 15 years I've been listening to him, and him being my favorite artist, man. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a fun performance. He gets like 5 songs.
Well, he gets 15 minutes. So
he gets 15 minutes.
Pretty sure he's gonna do a medley.
Probably gonna do a medley. We'll see. Not Like Us. I don't know if he'll do a.
He's not gonna do the whole.
I hear you like I'm young. I can't imagine that happening. That's shaky ground for the Super Bowl. But I can see him perform other songs.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Shane O'Mac said, new thing I'm doing. Yeah, stand off Twitter until the game's over. Yes, 100%. When the game was going sideways, I wasn't looking at my Twitter. That's definitely something you do. But yeah, you already know my favorite rapper's Hov. I am a Jay-Z guy. Jay-Z has been the first rap song I ever heard in 1997 was All About the Benjamins. Obviously, Jay-Z's not on there. It's one of my favorite rap groups, The Lox. My favorite female rapper ever, Lil' Kim. And of course, Biggie and a nigga who will not be named on this podcast anymore. But that was the first rap song I heard. But the first artist that I was like fell in love with, was Jay-Z. Like, I've been a Jay-Z guy, and this is the only nigga to me who's even in the Jay stratosphere, and that's Kendrick Lamar. And Jay knows that himself. That's why Jay put him on there on the show. Jay puts together the halftime show, and on top of that. And for people out there who he only go performing that. Kendrick is an amazing performer. Like both of us have had the privilege of seeing Kendrick live. You went to the Damn tour or you went to the Miss Morale tour?
I was at the Damn tour.
You went to the Damn tour. I went to the Pimp Butterfly tour and saw him at Staples Center. He's a phenomenal performer. You can say whatever you want to say. The Pop Out was a hate fest. He put on an amazing performance at the Pop Out. This is Kendrick's second time on the Super Bowl. He came with Dre and them 2 years ago. He was amazing with that. So even if you're not a big Kendrick fan, Kendrick's going to put together an amazing show. I don't think he's going to do Not Like Us in full. I honestly think he's only going to do the hook.
Right.
I think he's only going to do the hook. And especially with the Super Bowl, no artist does the full song. Like, they only usually do the full song or the final song they do. And if I had to bet, the final song's probably gonna be "We Gonna Be All Right," especially if Kamala wins the the presidency. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that. But also, let's be very sure, Mr. Sean Carter is very petty. This was not done not on purpose. Like Jay has his ear to the street, Beyonce has her ear to the street. They don't like that Canadian, okay, for whatever reason. And so I do think that this was crafted perfectly, day free. The way they did the announcement was amazing. I think it's gonna be a fun show. If everybody out there is like, "Oh, Wayne should be out there," I'm not gonna say that's a bad take. Wayne is one of the best rappers of all time. Even though I'm not a big Wayne fan, but from what Wayne has done, Wayne is one of the biggest rappers of all time. He's from New Orleans. I get people who thought that he should
be. Some of Wayne's most memorable songs on mixtapes.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm with you. I'm just telling you he's one of the biggest. I ain't saying he's one of the best. He's one of the biggest rappers of all time. So I understand that. But at the same time, what's the last hit this nigga had? Number one. Number two, just because it's in the city don't mean that you have to perform. The only person who matched the city was Drake. That's it. So, and also, I still think Wayne is going to be involved in this somehow. Maybe that's my conspiracy theory. It would not shock me if Kendrick brings back, especially Kendrick is a massive Wayne fan. Remember the classic, "No, nigga, no," when he found out Wayne was going to retire? He's a massive Wayne fan. I still think there's going to be some way that Wayne ends up on that stage, but I think it's going to be amazing, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. So, that's all we got for y'all. We will be back on Wednesday for the Wednesday pod. I'm gonna break down what happened in Halas Hall that day, getting ready for Houston. Of course, I will be in Houston. That pod's probably gonna come. I don't know. I don't know what day the pod's gonna come. Maybe one Monday or Tuesday. We'll figure it out what day the recap pod is gonna come, because I'm not gonna be leaving Houston till Tuesday. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be enjoying Houston while I'm there. So we're gonna figure it out for y'all. We got a packed show for I'm Not Gonna Hold You tomorrow. We're back on our 2-episode a week schedule. Tomorrow, Mondays are the Super Show. 3 hours, 4 to 7. We're basically going to be your Monday Night Football pre-show. We're going to be breaking everything down in local hour. And then in the main hour, we're going to be breaking down everything else happening in NFL. And we've got our new college football correspondent, our guy, Kyron Samuels. He's going to be joining us each and every Monday, breaking down college football. He's going to give you everything happening there. And I will be wearing the shades. Every time the Bears have a victory Monday, I'm going to be wearing the shades. These are the victory shades. That's what we're going to do it. So y'all know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow Flows at Flows Andolini on all on all social media platforms. You can follow Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. On all social media platforms, subscribe to the Patreon. If you're watching this on your phone, wherever, the link will be in the description box. If you're listening to this, the link is in the description box. If you're watching this on your TV, on your YouTube, take your phone to the screen. If you watch this, and it'll take you right to it. We got 4 different tiers. We got the 79th Halas tier. Well, the live stream always goes up right away, but then I take it off and I send it straight to the Patreon for everybody else. It'll be live a day later for everybody else. If you want to get it early, subscribe to the 79th Halas tier. I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. Also, there's the Summer Sessions tier. But if you want everything, subscribe to the $10 Holla, the Barberchair All Access tier, and you will get a code. Discount code for the Barberchair Shop, 25% off your first order. Only one order. Your niggas is not going to keep using it. And if you haven't done it, go to bcnetshop.com. Get all your merchandise. All the orders that came in the first 2 weeks have been sent out. So we appreciate everybody. bcnetshop.com. Get all your Barberchair Network merch, 79th Halas merch. I'm Not Gonna Hold You merch. And we're going to have special merchandise coming for y'all, because this is the 10th season of the pod. We've got a 10th anniversary shirt coming for y'all real soon. Look out for that. Anything else you want to say before we get up out of here? Claws up. Put the claws up. All the young niggas, put the claws up. Yeah. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Are we getting old enough to where we say something that young people younger than us say that
yes,
what the young folks are doing?
Yes, 100%. I'm going to be 36 next month. Yes, I'm that old.
No, man, I'm excited for this season, man. I'm excited to see what the Bears do. My only take or my only thought for the Bears fans that are watching these games is to be cautious, be happy, allow yourself to feel, but also only believe or have like incredible expectations when you see it with your own eyes. When you see that, then I say it's cool to have like hard expectations. So yeah.
Long season, folks. So shout out to everybody watching. We appreciate it. See, look at this. This is shabby to my damn 36. Yeah, come on, man. We gotta stop doing this to our black brothers, man. We supposed to age. We're supposed to age, man. R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan, man. But that's all we got for y'all. We gonna holler at y'all on Wednesday for the Wednesday show. We up out of here.